Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today's January 22nd, and right now we're looking at the Los Angeles Metro and San Diego. Here you can see the very heavy rainfall. It's been moving across much of the Los Angeles Metro this morning. There are flood advisories all over the place. There's accidents, there's roadways underwater, there's some urban and small stream flooding going on. So heads up for this activity, and you can see it's going to be continuing on over the next couple of hours. Even some lightning strikes out there as well. So don't be surprised if you hear a couple rumbles of thunder with this activity. And now if we take a wider look, you can see that big slug of moisture moving across Southern California. We are going to let up on the huge rainfall amounts, but we still have some showery weather behind this, and we have that thunderstorm potential as we go on in through the day today. And hopefully we can wring out some nice beneficial moisture across some of the desert areas. And it looks like Las Vegas has another round of rainfall incoming as we speak, as well as Arizona as this pushes off to the east in through tomorrow. Now, taking a look here at the CocoRUS, check out some of these precipitation totals since January 19th. You can see some areas up over 4, 5, even 6 inches there across some of California. You can see Sacramento approaching 2 inches in some area just north of the Bay Area. Some impressive amounts. San Francisco looks about 1.6, actually somewhere over an inch and a half, let's call it here. And then you can see some big amounts like down towards Santa Cruz up over 5 inches here. San Jose about an inch and a half as well. And then if we look down across Southern California, no doubt this is going to get added to today. And there's going to be some pretty impressive totals across some of San Diego. You can see the Los Angeles Metro, plenty of areas up over an inch and a half. And again, we're going to add to that. And this is just going to show you there's quite a few traffic accidents out there. It was reported by Caltrans. You can see Highway 78 and I-5 up and down. So heads up, maybe put off your travel until tomorrow if you can avoid it. And there's flood advisories all over the place. It does include the Los Angeles Metro right now as that water still continues to run down from the heavy rain this morning. And you can see it includes the San Diego area here, also Oceanside, for example. Now, looking at a few strong thunderstorms possible today, this is Hanford National Weather Service. You can see it includes places like Modesto, Merced. You're looking at Bakersfield down here. It just does include Fresno as well. You can see Santa Cruz. Even could include the Bay Area also as we go through the day today. You saw those showery tops off the coastline here. And, when thunder roars, go indoors if you want to remain absolutely safe. And just kind of showing you that flood advisory is still in effect across some of the Los Angeles Metro here. And we have that thunderstorm potential as we go on in through tonight for some of Southern California as well. You get some gusty winds with that also, and even some small hail. Looking at the significant snow, you can see moderate impact Monday, January 22nd here from the National Weather Service, Sacramento. Again, the snow levels are fairly high. I believe they're up over 5,500 feet, maybe 6,000 feet plus, but you could run into some issues as you're going across some of the passes here across the Sierra Nevada, especially today. You might want to put off your travel again, as we mentioned, tomorrow, and you can see the list of impacted highways here, including Interstate 80. Here we are with the Sierra snowfall forecast. You can actually see a little bit closer. Donner Peak 6 to 8, Carson Pass 8 to 12, Ebbets Pass 8 to 12. And you can see the snow levels there about 5,500 to 6,500 feet. And again, as we look a bit north, there is that potential for thunderstorms as we go through the afternoon and evening today. And taking a look at what's driving that, you see the strong jet stream driving down across Baja here, kind of bringing that storm system across California as we speak. And we're going to have another system back here. It's going to ride up over the top of the ridge as we go through the midweek period. Also, it's going to bring another round of rainfall. Some of that light precip may even try to move down towards Southern California. And then we will take a look at the extended forecast as we have that jet extension moving across the Pacific Ocean, and it could get a bit crazy here as we go towards the early portion of February, and I'll show you some of that model data here in a moment. But looking at the NAM 3KM high resolution model, you can see the state of California would be San Diego, Los Angeles, the Bay Area would be here, and Crescent City up to the top left there. And we put that into motion. You can see the big slug moving through as we speak. Heavy rainfall already occurring, and more to come there for some of Southern California. That pushes off, and you kind of see the showery activity, and you cannot rule out lightning with these showers as we go through the afternoon and evening. Then that will start to slowly wrap up as we go on in through Tuesday morning. You can see some of this precipitation continuing maybe across some of Las Vegas here, southwest Utah, western Arizona, as that pivots across the region there. And then we turn our eyes to this next system as we go on in through the day. Wednesday, very early in the morning, should start across Northern California, eventually sliding down across the Bay Area again for another round of precipitation here. And then some of that light precip could be bringing some shower activity down to Southern California as we go on in through the afternoon on Wednesday. We'll check that storm system out in a bit more detail tomorrow as well. Looking at the high resolution model, you can see pretty good agreement there as that slug of moisture is moving through. And then the showery weather continues across this afternoon. You can see even across some of the valley areas here, you cannot rule out lightning with those showers as we go on in through this afternoon. Then you can see the storm system pushing off. Pretty good agreement with that North American model there on the position of that low as it spins off and through. And then the next system starts to arrive as we go through Wednesday morning. So pretty good model agreement on the timing of that. Now looking at the European, this is last night's run here. So here we go as of this morning. This is just about as I'm doing the video. You can see that thunderstorm potential. I did notice several lightning strikes off the coastline here, so don't be surprised again across Southern California if you hear some thunder. And as we go through the afternoon today, you can kind of see there's that lightning threat here. Shouldn't be a huge deal, but you might hear a rumble of thunder or see a flash of lightning. And then that next system here that rides up over the top of the ridge could bring some additional thunderstorm activity towards some of the coastline here as well. We'll watch that as we get a bit closer. And taking a look at today, you can see the excessive rainfall outlook. No surprise to anybody out and about across Southern California. But as we go to tomorrow, that's going to include some of Arizona here, mainly southeast Arizona, as the threat will mainly end for California. And you could get some nuisance flooding with the next frontal system rolling in here, but we'll check that out tomorrow. And if you want a nice, affordable home weather station to record all this crazy weather, this haptic rain gauge does a good job of picking up precipitation and exactly when it starts. And if it's light, moderate, or heavy, it's got solar powered. It's all wireless. It's an excellent station. Very good for the price. Highly recommend it. And this is the view when you look at your smartphone and you click on these individual data points here and you get graphs for it and everything. Very fun station. Now looking at the extended forecast a little bit here. So this is the European yesterday afternoon's run. If we put that in motion, there goes our system, there goes our ridge rider there. And then we try to build this ridge here, but the models are trending a little bit rainier here as we go towards Friday night for some of Northern California. And that could even reach down towards the Bay Area as we go through the weekend here. But then we build a ridge at least temporarily, and you can see that storm track really firing up here across the Pacific Ocean. This would be about Tuesday night of next week. And then you can see a very powerful frontal system continues to show off and on in some of the model runs here as we go through next week also. And look at some of these storms the European is just throwing at the California coastline. Look at this 993 millibar low would be an extraordinarily dynamic system. This would be intense rainfall, very powerful winds. You'd be talking about some nice mountain snows, even some lower elevation snow across some of the higher terrain as well. So we'll be watching that definitely closely as we go through the future with the potent jet streams setting up off the coastline here. We could have some very powerful systems rolling in through the early portion of February. Models continue to show it right now, even though it is a ways out in the forecast. And just one more look at that here. You can see there's the ridge rider, and then we kind of get that Pacific storm track really starting to rip into the west coast here. And then if we go out far enough, you can see that system the European tries to throw in. It's still 300 hours out there. So we're not going to get caught up in any individual details right now. We just have that potential as we go into the early portion of February for the storm track to get ramped up. And this kind of shows it pretty well. This is 15-day precipitation anomalies here on the European as of yesterday afternoon. And you can really see where that storm track on the European is highlighted all the way from Baja, all the way up towards the Pacific Northwest. And of course, we have to work out these details in the meantime. And this is the European looking at the jet stream at about 39,000 feet. The Hawaiian Islands would be here. You got Alaska and Japan off to the left. Of course, California would be right here. And there goes our system currently, a bit of a system riding up over the top of the ridge here. And then we get that next ridge trying to develop here as we go on in towards this weekend, but it could still be impacting some portions of Northern California. And you can see this ridiculous jet extension is coming across the Pacific Ocean here. This is last night's European run as well. So, it continues to show that powerful jet extension coming across Pacific Ocean. So our confidence is increasing in a stormy pattern somewhere along the west coast here. Of course, details will have to be worked out as we get a little bit closer. This is the GFS, last night's ensemble mean, and this is at 39,000 feet also. Put this into motion, and you can see the ridge we try to develop here as we go towards the end of the week. But then you see this jet extension. Watch this thing just start pointing right at the coast of California as we go on into the extended forecast. So confidence is increasing in that. We just don't have any information on exact details right now. And you can see this troughing just kind of setting up here across the west coast. As we go into the early portion of February, that's going to give us a shot for some strong storms here across much of the region. Now, taking a look here at the GFS, I just want to show you this. This is actually hot off the press of the 12Z run. Let me update that because it is running as we speak. If I put this into motion, there goes our system currently, and that's moving out of there. There goes that storm that's going to ride up over the top of the ridge, and then we're looking off towards the extended forecast as we build a ridge for a time, and then we, again, the powerful jet stream is going to be ripping here across Pacific Ocean. Look at that Gulf of Alaska low. Really get fired up here. This has got El Nino signature all over it. As you can see, some powerful storms moving in. I mean, that would be an extremely dynamic front there. So yeah, models continue to show it. Every single run basically has it now, but we'll worry about those details as we get closer. But confidence definitely increasing. 8 to 14 day temperature, precipitation probability, and you can see the Climate Prediction Center also is on to that storm track right into the west coast here, especially targeting some of California, as you can see, and we would have above average temperatures as well if we got that west-southwest flow. But if you get a strong low that burrows into the state of California, you can really still bring some cold air, and you can drop some of the snow levels a bit lower as well. So that's what we saw in the European model here. But again, that's just fantasy forecasting. And here we are looking at this next system coming up. So here we go. As we move on into, this is going on until Wednesday now, you can see we start to look at that next system rolling through here. Not a huge precipitation maker coming up, but then we have the one coming this weekend as well. So Northern California not doing too bad here over the next few days as we go towards the weekend, and we'll continue to monitor that. If we scroll out far enough, you can kind of see how the National Plan of Models also shows some of the systems arriving through the extended forecast. So there's some big rainfall amount potential there also. Now, looking at the total snow in inches, just scroll through this briefly here, and you can kind of see as we go through this next storm system, we're dropping some snow across the higher terrain. It's not like last year, though. We were bringing some really low snow levels and just some ridiculous amounts across the higher terrain, so we are still at a deficit. We are still below average here. If we scroll way off into the extended, maybe we can hope for some additional snowfall, but that's way out in the forecast right now. Avalanche Center, right now, you can see there is actually, it looks like an active avalanche warning is in effect here for some of the central Sierra Nevada, and you can click on that and it gives you all kinds of good information. Heavy new snow, looks like they're reporting strong winds will produce large dangerous avalanches today. Avalanches could occur at all elevations and could fail on old weak layers several feet below the surface. People could trigger them while traveling below or near a slope. So yeah, interesting stuff there today. Travel in, near, below avalanche terrain is not recommended today. Great stuff there from the Avalanche Center. And this is the extended experimental forecast, still highlighting this time frame here for some of California here. We're not going to worry about that because we've gone over that plenty in this video already. But looking here at the last 2 months, average temperature departure from average, and this goes from February 23rd. So basically, this is winter so far. Looking here, you can see virtually the entire state has been above average so far. Maybe a little portion of the desert, some of San Diego, a little bit below average here. But we have been above average so far this winter. This is precipitation departure from average in inches. So this is an interesting map here because you look off into the desert, it's like, oh, it's not that bad. You're between 0 and -3 inches. However, you don't get that much rainfall out across the desert. So I'll show you the next map in a moment. But you can see the Sierra Nevada running a pretty good deficit as well. Some of the Bay Area also. So I'm a little concerned here if, we dry things out over the next month or two, we can start to reintroduce some drought conditions here across the state. So if we take a look at percent of average precipitation over the same time period, and this is the water year, it starts October 1st, and now we're on to January 22nd, and this goes through the 21st. But you can see the actual percentage of normal across some of the desert areas. Even though it's an inch or two below, it's still quite a big deal if you are across some of those areas. And much of the state has been below average so far this water year. A couple select few locations have been above. But yeah, you guys going to get the point there. We do have to watch out for drought development if we do not get this storm train rolling here towards the end of January on in through the early portion of February. So anyway, watch out, for that urban flooding down there across some of San Diego. Hopefully it's going to bring some nice rainfall across Arizona and Las Vegas and the desert area. So hopefully to help out with some of that precipitation deficit that I just talked about. And again, you can see these tops out here, so don't sleep on those. Watch out for that thunderstorm activity really across much of the state here as we go through the afternoon today. But anyway, hope you guys are enjoying these videos. We'll keep breaking down these systems here as we go through the extended forecast day by day. Confidence is increasing in an active weather period happening towards the end of the month into early February. So anyway, we'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.